What's going on, guys? Kai here. It's the end of the month and you know what that means. New tier lists. Today we're doing classes, both PvP and PvE, as well as tomorrow is going to be fairies. Let's get into it.
반드시 돌아오게 하겠어.
더 이상 하수인만으로 남지 않아. 이제부턴 나를 위하여 오로지 나만 깨어있을 뿐.
멈춰.
모두들
절대.
후회? 하, 네가 누구랑 얘기하는 줄은 아는 거야?
Alright guys, let me know what you think about the intro down below. I chopped it up, made it myself, but let me know what you guys think. So starting with PvP up at the top here, this is over on my Discord and the resources channel. They're in the pinned comments. Every new month ones will be pinned and the previous month ones will be unpinned. So only the newest ones will be there. So starting here, we got Priest, definitely still the top because it has anti-block, it has anti-tenacity, it has anti-knock-up, knockback, it's got a shield, it's got attack boost, it's got crit boost, it'll even make you a sandwich. It literally has everything. Then we kind of have a three-way tie here, which is very interesting. So what I'm noticing is that we're not so much talking about which one's the best in a vacuum, but there is kind of like a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing going on here, where the gladiator right here will eat a dragon fighter. It's just easy eats, no problem. At least equal skill, it should be an easy win. Then Perfect Blade, Blazing Owl, with its monstrous amount of block ignore, as well as just the damage increase it gets from the Chi ability, it should beat Gladiator. Pretty good matchup. If you see a Gladiator as a Blazing Owl, you're pretty happy. But Blazing Owl's big thing is they can't be targeted a bunch of the time. If they use their second skill, Aerial Ace, and then do the zigzag, they can't be targeted, but they can still be hit. And then when they do Omnidirectional Slayer, they can use that to dodge some abilities, but it's a tough matchup against Dragon Fighter. Dragon Fighter has Dragon Roar, which can get them out of the silence and issues that Blazing Owl can put up, as well as the enhanced version of the second and third skill are all AoE. So even if you are untargetable, you're still going to get hit by those stuns, and a Blazing Owl that can't move is a dead Blazing Owl. So in my mind, this is a very interesting rock, paper, scissors here. Obviously, you can win against the one you're bad at. You just have to know going into it, this is a bad matchup for you. Then down here at 8 here, we have Shadow Owl. The only problem with Shadow Owl is it has a bunch of good maneuverability. It's best in slot for Uncharted Battlefield because you can only use one class. Shadow Clone's very, very good. Its main issue is it's a lot of just sitting around waiting for cooldowns, especially if you want to do a big combo It's a lot of sitting around, as well as it's just doesn't have the PvP chops that Blazing Owl does. Now, here is very interesting because I could see someone making the argument back and forth between the two marksmans. I believe Windchaser is better because of the maneuverability, the anti-CC with Strength of Nature. It just has a movement skill. It has good CC. It has movement speed bonus. It has the extra dodge, very, very good. But its killing potential is kind of low. You need something else that does the damage. As someone who is like, you want to be, you just want to annoy people, best in slot. This and Priest, you're just going to annoy people. You're going to heal your party. You're going to be so fast they can't catch up to you. Snare them if they try to. You're just going to be annoying. But your damage is pretty low. But Marksman is on the opposite end. I put it lower because literally all it has is damage. Its damage is S tier, but it has to sit there and go 1, 2, 3, and then someone that's doing a Blazing Owl can omnidirectional Slayer that third hit, or anyone else can CC them out of the attack. Not Berserker. Gladiator or Windchaser has a third dodge. They can dodge the hit. It's a pretty slow projectile. They have a crazy range, which is what they have. They have crazy range. They have the highest crit in the game in PvP, especially with Priest. And they have S tier damage, but you could just CC them. If you play really, really well, if something like a top league and you are one marksman, that could be totally fine. They could be like, okay, I'm going to target either the Dragon Fighter or the Blazing Owl on the enemy team, and I'm going to do 60-70% of their HP and one 2-move combo, never miss into multi-shot, and 60% of their 70% of their HP is just gone. Dragon Knight, pretty similar camp here. They have a great burst. They actually have a ton of CC in that burst. The jump forward, the knock up, and then the spear drop that has the anti-heal, which is very good. Their issue is their super long cooldown. Blazing Owl actually has super long cooldown as well, but their chi ability gives them a minus 15 or 20%, I forget the number off the top of my head, 15 or 20% of their max cooldown. So if you're doing your combos correctly, you have nowhere near as long of cooldowns as Dragon Knight. Judge, you could have a judge on your team that would raise it up to B, maybe even A tier. If they're a single judge and it's something like Top League and they're doing double tornado strats, things like this, one of them can be good, but in general it's pretty bad. Armor's biggest issue is a lot of their damage comes from Nether Fire, which is just this cone attack, and people can literally just walk side, back, or through you, and then you lose a bunch of your damage. They are pretty nice. Their first skill has anti-heal. Their third skill has break channel, which can actually stop multi-arrow from going off. These two I don't really need to talk about. Berserker made for PvP, but its whole thing is about getting resets on a kill, but you're not getting kills off of those abilities. Its only place is something like Uncharted Battlefield, Crystal Battlefield, or Guild War against people you are way stronger than. Mechanician, its biggest issue in PvP is it's a bunch of targets, and 6 of the ones up here have a bunch of HP steal rate just baked into them. Down here to PvE, we have Priest giving you that attack buff, crit buff, as well as the tenacity down and block down, which are stats that PvE does have. Armor is above and beyond everyone else. Its biggest issue in PvP is actually its biggest strength in PvE. Netherfire just does a butt ton of damage, and your preparation is a bunch of extra damage. These three are all second place behind armor. I would put Dragon Fighter at the top. A good Dragon Fighter would be, because you can do combos like Dragon Fighter Priest, throw Priest ability, swap to Dragon Fighter. It'll count that for the energy so that you can go into your combos pretty good. Its Ring Around Them ability does do a bunch of damage over time. And then the other two are about what you would expect. Marksman players, your damage will fall off if you're not using your passive basic attack, weaving that between options, between skills. If you just leave it on auto, you're going to be missing a lot of damage. B tier, Perfect Blade, Blazing Owl, and Dragon Knight. Basically here, because their damage is high, it's higher than everything down here in PvE, but their cooldowns are very, very long. Dragon Knight has the charge up for the spear drop, so you're missing time. A lot of PvE is time based, and you're trying to get faster times. Blazing Owl animation locks you a bit. Their animations for a bunch of the secondary abilities take forever, and you're missing time that way as well. Everything down here, really, they're not really made for this. They're primarily trying to do Judge is trying to do a bunch of CC abilities that don't work against bosses. Same with Wind Chaser. That extra dodge doesn't do anything for you in PvE except Path of Fire if you're fighting something way above your level. And Gladiator is trying to do a bunch of CC that doesn't work in PvE. You can take like first, top left, 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can have a bunch of 3 to 4 second cooldown abilities. And you do have the Gladiator's HP to attack stat, which will do some okay numbers. And if you're doing something like, let's say, Wind Elemental Realm, Moonslash, Punitive Chop is going to do a bunch of damage, but that's few and far between. Mech is pretty good in PvE for pushing like Path of Fire, things like that, but not so much on the higher tier ones. Like if you're trying to beat something in 4 seconds or whatnot for events that come around, it's not very great. And Berserker is made for PvP, but only gives you half the cooldown back in PvE. Let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, guys.